Hello, and welcome to today's virtual open house hosted by the Graduate School at the College of Brockport, State University of New York. My name is Danielle Welch, Graduate Admissions Counselor, and I will serve as your moderator for this session. Today we have exciting information to share with you on a variety of our graduate offerings. From 9 to 9:25 a.m., we will hear from the Department of Environmental Science and Biology. The session will begin with a 3 to 5 minute pre-recorded video, followed by question and answer period. I encourage you to ask specific department-related questions during this time. In addition, check out our graduate website at www.brockport.edu/graduate for more detailed information. Okay, let's get started.
Listen through here if you want.
Okay, I do have a question for Dr. McCarowitz. What is the academic emphases of your program, and what does it prepare graduate students to do?
Emphasis of
In terms of, hello, first, I'm Joe McCarowitz. I'm in the Department of Environmental Science and Biology. I'm the graduate coordinator, and I'm certainly open to any questions people have. The emphasis on our program is a thesis-based program. We clearly have students that are going to work in field research or lab research where they are fully involved with faculty and their colleagues, other graduate students. We have about 30 to 35 graduate students at the moment. Again, it's a field-based, lab-based thesis program that involves at least 6 to 12 months in terms of research.
Okay, great, thank you. What academic or work experience do prospective students need for your program?
Well, I think the most important thing in terms of moving on into any graduate program is ability to demonstrate that you've had some type of research experience, whether it be descriptive, whether it be experimental, but something in your undergraduate life that allows us to evaluate you in terms of, have you had any experience? Do you know what it is to be out in the field? Do you know how to handle data? Anything that helps us along those lines. And so, for example, internships, summer research programs that allow you to get involved in the laboratory. So you know the culture of laboratory work and field work. Those are all important things in terms of us evaluating you, and also in terms of us making awards. We will pick those folks that have that kind of experience over others that have not.
Great, thank you. What can prospective students do to strengthen their applications, and what should they avoid in those applications?
Well, I just mentioned some of that. Again, anything that suggests that you've had some experience in terms of working in a laboratory or in a field situation. We tend to have a lot of field-based faculty, and so experience is important. For example, it's very disconcerting to find out that a student doesn't like being out in the forest with his bugs and so forth when when they get there. This is kind of important to know before you get there. It's something very simple, but it's those kinds of little things. So I mentioned some of that stuff before, but I think in terms of things not to include or things to be more careful about, try to define yourself as an individual. What are your objectives and where do you want to go? And what I'm really saying is don't be vague. Don't tell us something about yourself in terms of your aspirations and why you want to go and what makes you think you want to go into a professional program such as a Master's of Science, where it's technical, it's demanding, and we have to spend time and experience and money to support you. So we want to know why you're going there. And so those types of applications that are written from the standpoint of being very general generally don't help, I think, a student in terms of coming here or anywhere.
What is the educational experience for students in your program?
I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, educational experience. I mean grade-wise or?
Grade-wise and then overall general experiences.
Well, we generally don't consider undergraduate students that are under 3.0 in terms of GPA. Most of the students that we accept have a GPA of above 3.2, and although we will take students that have exceptional backgrounds in terms of experience under 3.0, it's usually on a provisional basis. So grades are an important item. Um, it's probably not the best measure in some regards. And again, as I had said before, that what what really highlights an application is that something extra that a undergraduate has done, somehow demonstrating their understanding of science, written papers, experience working with faculty on research projects or internships and things of that nature. We expect all our students coming in are going to have or be able to do well in classes. What we don't know, and this is what we're searching for, is those people that have some type of ability or experience that can be demonstrated to us working in a laboratory or field situation doing research.
Great. How does your program prepare students for professional employment and PhD program?
Well, it certainly does both in that we have, and I guess the way to look at this is, what are the technical skills that develop? And one of the things that's true about our program, and that we don't have a lot of required courses. We build each schedule of courses based on what the student needs to take to be successful in their area of interest. For example, if somebody's working on birds, then the schedule of courses is built around courses that support that. Conservation biology, ornithology, statistics, things that support that. Hydrology, if you work on aquatic birds. If somebody's working in the area of aquaculture, fish aquaculture, for example, then the course scheme changes. Water chemistry, biology of fish, fisheries techniques, internships with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. So we look to develop skills and that allow them to go on further into the field. And we're very adept. Most of our people our faculty have either come from agencies. We have a number of adjuncts that come from agencies. And so we know what they need to be successful. So statistics, for example, all our students take statistics. Many of our students take GIS. Most of our students are involved in the aquatic side, take water chemistry. Again, support courses that are necessary to be successful in the field and in the future. Our students are also go through a rather rigorous thesis writing experience in that a thesis is just not handed in and it's accepted. We go through a whole almost semester of rewrites back and forth to the committee, back and forth to the major advisor, rewriting, polishing it, much as one would have to do in a position with an agency, or if they were going on for a PhD program to do a PhD thesis. Not only do we do this writing component, which has become very, very important, we do a tremendous amount of work and effort to get students involved in presentations at scholarly meetings. For instance, I took 3-4 students to the University, I should say, yes, the University of Minnesota at Duluth, to the International Association Great Lakes Research Program. And that's not unique, that's typical. We also remember the Great Lakes Research Consortium that has an annual meeting. Here at Brockport, we have a graduate conference in the spring where students are invited from all over the country to come to present. This has proven to be all quite successful, but it does several things. It gives students the opportunity to present orally to peers, which is important because when you get out into the field, you're going to have to justify what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're doing it. And so we try to provide all those experiences that one would see perhaps at a Research One university here at Brockport, and I think we do a good job with that.
Great. What are the academic specialties of your faculty, And what opportunities do graduate students have to work directly with those faculty?
Well, let me start with the last question first. What opportunities? All our graduate students have a major advisor. That major advisor is assigned upon arrival here at Brockport. That major advisor helps the student set up the schedule for the fall, and then a committee is chosen by the student with the major advisor. That is the thesis advisory committee, and this usually is 2 other people. This can be people from our department, it can be folks from other departments, it can even be some folks from off campus. For instance, we quite typically have people from New York State Department of Environmental Conservation sit on committees. In the past, we've had people from Eastman Kodak. We bring in people that have specialty knowledge into the committee so that we can be, I guess what I want to say, technologically advanced in terms of current knowledge. So, in terms of that, what I'm trying to say is that all the students have to interact with their faculty. It's not a question of can they. They have to fill out a schedule for the whole period of time. That's done with the committee. There has to be a thesis proposal that's done with the committee and approved by the committee. So again, there's this back and forth in terms of deciding on projects and how to proceed. There's something called a comprehensive exam that's done or executed by the committee. Again, all through this, there is this committee of 3, sometimes 4, that are involved with the student. Plus, in terms of your major advisor, in terms of the actual research, that major advisor plays a dominant role in terms of helping you direct your research, construct the project, and design it in such a way that it can be feasible. One of the important things is that we want you to be successful. We want you to be able to do a project within a reasonable amount of time. And so that's where experience of faculty help. In terms of the types of faculty, we have several. We actually go, in terms of environmental science and biology, our program is situated in one department, but graduate faculty actually include people from earth sciences and geology, as well as chemistry. So there's several, but Dr. Wilcox, for example, is a wetland ecologist. He works and has been working with USGS in terms of wetland surveys. He's played a dominant role in terms of lake level policy on the Great Lakes. Dr. Haynes is a fisheries biologist, invertebrate person that works mostly on fisheries, but does have some efforts down in the Caribbean at a particular field station that he goes to with students, and some of his graduate students have worked there besides on Lake Ontario. Jacques Rinchard is one of our newer faculty members. He's again, an aquaculturist, fish biologist. He works on fatty acids and lipids. This is an important area in that most of our aquaculture is dependent on us feeding fish to grow them, and one of the problems is that we're using fish stocks to grow fish for human consumption, and a lot of that has to do with lipid content and fatty acids. Can we use lipids and fatty acids from plants? And he's looking at the change in that food chain so that we can come up with a constructive way of growing fish without having to decimate natural stocks to grow cultured fish. Dr. Norman, a conservation biologist, bird biologist, has worked extensively on birds in North America and in the New York State area. Excellent person, well known, and is also our new chair of the department. We have a new person coming in the fall, a plant ecologist. She's interests lie in forests and things that deal with with terrestrial plant ecology. I'm not going to say too much about her at this point in time because I'm not clear myself on everything. Going into the earth sciences, Dr. Mark Knoll is a biogeochemist. He's had 3 or 4 graduate students over the years. He's very adept at issues dealing with geochemistry. I've worked with him personally on issues on chemistry of water. Paul Richards is a hydrologist. He works with SWOT models, soil water assessment tools. This is a very popular area in terms of management of watersheds. Dr. Richards is currently at Cornell on sabbatic, but will be back in the fall. But he's taken on a few students, and again is a really well-known person in this area. Jim Zowick, who is also a hydrologist, works in roughly the same area, more on the modeling side. And finally, myself, Makarowicz, Dr. Makarowicz, Joe Makarowicz. He's a limnologist. He works on Great Lakes issues, works on watershed issues, and again, has had about 45 graduate students over the years. Thank you very much. Hope I helped you.